Are Death Runners any good in patch 6.1.3? This is an issue related to the Eshin Triads, a mobile unit meant as a specialist to help a force reliant on more than just Plague Claw catapults and clan rats, fun and legitimate as the catapults are. The clan rats? Well, there's a lot of them. Now for the Death Runners! Recruited for 850 gold and 213 upkeep per turn, on Ultra there are 72 runners with 5,760 health between them. Armor is 20, physical resistance is 30%. These figures sound very familiar. Aren't these like the Eshin Triads? So against magical attack, they're particularly flimsy. Against anything else, they're going to feel shockingly difficult to finish off without large-scale means, like mass archer fire. But that's what happens when your stealth measures fail. Leadership begins at 68, impressive for Skaven. Speed 54 and charge speed 60 are identical to Triads. Melee attack begins at 32, and each attack carries Weeping Blade, just like the Eshin Triads, therefore minus 50% armor for 35 seconds, a massive duration, but Weeping Blade cannot stack with itself. There is no splash damage. Melee defense starts at 28, but we'll get to strength in numbers shortly. Weapon strength is listed as 30, split base 8 and 22 armor piercing, but as dual sword infantry, they have a bonus versus infantry of 10. Charge bonus is 22 and mass is 19. Bonus versus infantry numbers tend not to be as large as bonus versus large, and often they don't need to be, but again 72 entities on Ultra in a 120 entity melee unit world. If hit points are greater than 50% base, it's leadership plus 6, melee defense plus 8, and speed minus 10%, which is noticeable at this level. The unit has the Concealment Bomb's active ability, and Unspottable can make detection range really short if used in advance. The unit has Vanguard Deployment, Stalk, and Strider, so it can ninja run right up hills, without getting tired, at least beyond the normal level. At 3 pips, Respected and Feared grants melee attack plus 6 and weapon strength plus 9%. Gutter Wise grants rank 7 and above Death Runners, leadership plus 5, and speed plus 20%. The speed boost is only happening with this unit in the Eshin Triads. In the tech tree, the hit and run 10% boost to infantry speed applies, and unlike the Triads, best of the best as recruit rank plus 2 and rule through fear offers leadership plus 10, charge bonus plus 10 flat, and plus 10% weapon strength. Some have seen this as shortchanging the Triads. If so, hopefully they get around to the issue, although the runners are more costly. So how do we use Death Runners? Obviously, this is the anti-infantry specialist other side of the Triad coin. It was never conceived by CA to operate without other parts of an army unless you are truly backstabbing artillery crews, at which point the crushing will be even more one-sided than before. The point is, Weeping Blade isn't really for the benefit if they're fighting Hammerers. And Hammerers, it should be noted for current patch, have magical attacks and therefore can smash these rats flat through their physical resistance. But trying to throw shurikens through armor 50 may work a little bit better than armor 100. It's a crazy debuff, but it's not really that much for the benefit of the Death Runners themselves. It absolutely makes your base damage heavy heroes do more to your opponents, and that's not a knock. So what can you do with this? Well, here's my perspective on that. You can't control what your enemy is bringing, but you do control what you bring. Where you can't control what Chaos Dwarf units have magical attack, you know that the Gutter Runners with slings don't have it. Therefore, if you're slinging into a unit engaged with Death Runners, stray shots, which will occur, won't do much to your guys, but will do whatever constitutes their full damage on the sliding scale of dealing with a Weeping Blade affected enemy. If you're slinging or tossing blades into the backs of Jade Warriors, it goes better than it did before. And I will say that in this scenario, poison is very nice for everybody involved, except the Jade Warriors. Friendly sources of magical attack aren't a concern when it's a melee. On the other hand, magical armor piercing benefits less from Weeping Blade, though it's absolutely not nothing. The right weapons team will feel far more deadly to your own side than the opponent, and that's where a lot of people will stop listening and toss the unit into the trash bin. I understand that. Yet it's also a very serious compliment to mobile skirmishing forces, fist in the velvet glove, but meant more against dwarfs than knights. You're rarely anywhere near as concerned about your enemy running away if you're targeting entities on foot. So that reduces one of the special pain points of the Triads. And yes, my footage for that video showed a trap for cavalry not exactly going as planned, just to mention. I tried it again with Unspottable in advance. It was better, but I wasn't going to present it as a this works 100% of the time solution. No. Unspottable on demand is powerful, but you have to use it properly. You can't take too few risks, or you waste the unit too. So the best way is to use gutter runners and night runners, with lords buffing them, and helping them do unspottable as required as well, if you're going that way. But the point is, you're exploiting situations to your advantage, and that means avoiding dropping plague claws on your own troops that are not really as expendable as usual Skaven. I will also say that at this kind of foot speed, pursuing routed and broken troops is much easier to do in a faction that doesn't really have much for traditional cavalry. And in a sense, maybe it's too much trouble for a lot of people, but controlling your side is a lot more consistent than trying to control the enemy. You do it when you can, you do not rely on it completely. Take care, and have fun bringing death from every manhole cover. At least that's how it worked in Vermintide.